here on the Voice of the Caribbean from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. So we did speak about that on Saturday. But if you just turn all media channels right now
are focused on this. It's
yes.
really a major development that's taken place. When did that take place? May 26th or something, I believe?
Right. It just happened on Friday. It's a policy. And so a lot of people are confused. And so let me break it down, because you know what? We're such an immigrant community, right? And since this is a global brief, we're here to brief you on what is happening. And so this is not a difficult topic for me to speak about, being an immigration attorney.
Correct.
So this should just, so I'm here to just filter through it. And so during the program, if you would like, you can please call us 850-446-0562. That's 850-446-0562. And I will go ahead and answer your questions, whatever it is that Tony can't answer. I'll be sure to answer them for you because of my legal expertise on this topic.
Yeah, this is something very interesting. I'm actually quite shocked that they've gone this far in this direction to make these changes. I'm not an attorney, so I don't understand a great deal of it, but. How's this affecting, the people that are in the process of obtaining green cards that are here lawfully and they're doing a change of status or what it might be? How's that affecting them?
The main thing is that a lot of people don't know right now. I'm not sure if I should say a lot of people don't know, because it's basically it's all over.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. But for those who may not know what we're talking about the policy change that just came down on Friday, where the this U.S. administration has basically said, set out that they're doing some changes to policies. It is not a new law, guys. Remember, the administration cannot implement new laws.
So it's a departure.
It's not really a departure. I would say it's a departure from the norm.
From the norm,
because under INA Section 245, and the INA is a governing, where it's like a book in immigration.
But how can they do these changes? It's a unilateral change, or how are they able to do this without getting congressional support or whatever it might be?
All right, so it's because it's not actually a change. It is not a new law. It has actually been in effect. And so this we're talking about is the people who are here now in the United States and who would want to adjust their status.
Right.
This...
Even if they're here legally, right?
Correct.
So it's affecting everybody.
Correct. Okay. And so what the administration is saying, that we're no longer going to... We're going to fine-tooth comb it, or go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, because under Section 245, even though people are permitted to adjust,
correct,
it is not mandatory. It doesn't mean that they have to.
Even if they came to our country legally,
correct,
this still affects them?
Yes, it
really?
is, because you're not entitled to adjustment. So you can't really go say, okay, go file an appeal and say, listen, I should have gotten this, I'm entitled to an adjustment here. I am married to a U.S. citizen, so give me that green card, whether you like it or not. Because the law says I need to get that green card. No, it doesn't work that way, because it's a discretionary. So what the INA actually says, it makes it it's up to the officer, the USCIS officer, to go through everything and to see whether or not to give that person a green card.
Is there a certain point at which this rule does not affect somebody if they've gotten, it's a process. So if they've gotten to, let's say there's 4 stages to it, let's say they've gotten to the 3rd stage of obtaining a green card, do they still fall under this category?
If they've gotten through the 4 stages,
I'm just saying, like for instance, if there are 4 stages or however many stages there are to becoming a green card holder, and does this? I mean, if you're green card is imminent. And does this actually affect them as well, even if they've gone through a substantial amount of time processing this?
Yes. So here's the thing. If you're in the United States right now and you entered lawfully, even if normally those people who entered lawfully are the only persons usually who could adjust your status.
Right.
With back then, no issues, right? So you enter the United States, for example, you're married to a U.S. citizen. That person can then go ahead and file an immigrant petition on your behalf.
Correct.
And then you can simultaneously submit an adjustment application.
Right.
Now, the I-130, which is the immigrant petition, usually that will be approved because if the marriage is real, bona fide, so, you didn't pay anybody to do this for you unless you paid an attorney to do the paperwork for you, but you did not pay the person to marry you and get you the green card.
Right.
Then, and you have evidence that this marriage is bona fide, then usually that will be approved. Then it comes now to the adjustment status part, where it normally looks to whether or not you're going to become a financial burden to the U.S., whether or not you had a lawful entry.
So that's where the financial portion comes in to see if they can sustain while they don't have it in that interim period, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And then whether or not you have anything that makes you inadmissible to the United States, such as any criminal record, for example, because no, they don't want certain if you had certain criminal record, you're not going to be able to come to the United States.
Does that apply to any type of criminal activity?
Correct. Right. So
any shoplifting,
even
that?
shoplifting
Really?
could. There's an exception for petty theft.
Okay.
But but again, remember, because Section 245 of the INA make it discretionary. So even a long time. So guys, it's not a new law.
So they have the right to say, well, okay,
because of that shoplifting.
Okay, we're gonna let this one slide, but
correct.
Another officer could say, well, I'm sorry, you have this, and we don't accept that.
Correct. Exactly.
It's just that way.
It's just as you said it, Tony. It's just exactly as you said it.
Wow.
So don't think. So what President Trump is telling, or his administration is telling them, that listen, let's go over all the files and just see, okay, if the person came, they overstayed, we're going to ask them certain questions, right? Why did they overstay, for example?
Well, I mean,
what family members do they have here in the United States? So
there's a lot of reasons why I guess people would overstay.
Well, depends on the reason. So basically they're saying, depending on the reason that you get, you now have the discretion whether or not to approve it. And the thing is that, to be honest, even under the Biden administration, this was in place where they could have went through and said, no, you could have filed for your spouse, and they said, she overstayed. Why did she overstay? She had no reason to overstay. She did this on purpose.
So they're now just enforcing this, or brought it to the forefront. So this always been on the books.
It's always been on the books where they could use their discretion.
Okay, I thought that this was something that they, categorically changed within the code.
Oh no, because they couldn't. No, that could have been. You'd have seen a lot of lawsuits going on right now if they change it, because only Congress can change the law.
So now they're just wanting to enforce it.
But I don't like to use that word, enforcing it, because, for example.
Here's what they're doing.
For example, you're married to a U.S. citizen, and even though you overstayed, usually they don't use that to penalize you. There's an exception there for immediate relatives. Okay. So you're married to a U.S. citizen and you overstayed. Usually that's not a bar. To be honest, that's not a bar to adjusting your status. But because it's discretionary, for example, even like a couple of years ago, I remember a client came to me and said, I was denied because it was a small thing that they had maybe 2 traffic tickets.
Traffic tickets?
Traffic tickets, yes.
Come on.
And or something, and then
That's
then one
so petty.
Right. And then maybe one driving without while license suspended. And again, that does not make the person removable or deportable, but because of that discretion, they could deny the person's.
Now, do you have to ask for an exemption for that or something?
No, it's discretionary.
It's discretionary. So they have that much leeway.
Right. So it's important to know that the most recent USCIS memo, it did not end adjustment, guys. It did not end adjustment. People are still legally allowed to apply for a green card. That is right. If you're in the U.S., you can still apply for a green card from within the country if you qualify. Because for that to change, where they will not approve any adjustment at all, that would have to come from Congress. So a lot of people are misunderstanding the
So now they're just reviewing the files a little bit more thoroughly, and is that what you're saying?
Correct. Well, yes.
In a way.
Basically, they're not giving leeways as much anymore.
Okay.
So what you're going to see right now, you're going to see a lot of requests for further evidence where they want you to plead the case or to make the case or to show why it is. Stay in your country and let your spouse then file for you.
Oh, so they want you to stay
in your country,
in your homeland,
and then let people file for you.
And file for you.
So gone are the
while
days
they're
you come
abroad.
here. Yes. So gone are the days where you come here and you meet somebody, and then they said no, send them back. So if the person is from Australia, Jamaica,
wherever,
Dominica, Venezuela, send them back. We don't want them. Send them back. So don't go fall in love with any. Yes, you can fall in love, but send them back, and then you file for them. That's what they want. But here's a problem with this, is that
seems pretty cruel.
Yes, because
what if they have children and things together? I mean, you're breaking up family units.
Correct, and that's why you see the discretion. And now we're putting because because then maybe the Congress would need to change the law to make it not so discretionary.
Correct,
and make it that absolutely. Once you're in the United States, you entered lawfully, don't have any criminal record, you are an immediate,
right.
You have to, or it should say, that person shall be granted a green card.
I think these people have too much discretion. Then
correct, there's
way too much.
So
it's
Congress would need to
ridiculous. Actually,
Congress would need to change it to make it that person absent any inadmissibility shall be granted. But here's a kicker with that, Tony. Though,
what's that?
Is that
more bad news?
More bad news, because even though they're saying that they want people to remain in their home country and file it lawfully and come here,
it could take.
I think this is a lie. I think this is a ploy, because here's the thing: there are 75 countries right now. Most
on a visa ban or something,
right? On a immigrant visa pause. So even though you want these people to stay in their country and let their spouses or minor children or mother or father, sister or brother file for them to join them to the U.S., you're blocking them too. So you can't say it's because you want people to stay in their home country, because then people are staying in their home country and you're blocking them.
But they don't want them to come here.
They just don't want immigrants here. I'm going to say it right out the back. They just don't want immigrants here. And I'm sorry to say, they don't want certain immigrants, because the countries that are on that 75 blocked right now on the pause, they're mostly black and brown people. I said it. There it is. I said it.
I agree. I've read it. And
Norway, for example.
It does seem to be targeting that demographic.
Correct. Norway is not on that list.
Sweden
is not on that list.
South Africa.
Well, yeah, I think some African countries are on that list. So those African countries, most of the Caribbean, Germany's not on that list.
France is not on there.
Right. So so you get the point what we're trying to say.
Incredible.
So they're trying to keep only certain people.
Seems like a little bit of a target. I mean,
a little bit, you think?
I think it's a major indication of a target, and doesn't that fall under some other?
Are you going to say that's illegal? What they're doing?
I mean, that's almost like profiling,
and that's why a lot of lawsuits should be filed with that. But the thing is that a lot of people don't have the finances to. A lot of people don't have the finances to actually go after the big government.
Of course not. I mean, you'd have to be a billionaire.
Well, not a billionaire, but they have to have some change, right?
You'd have to have some change.
And have some guts
and
some
action.
money, or join a class action suit to go ahead and get this resolved.
That's interesting that you say that, though, that they're targeting brown and black countries. It's
facts.
Yeah. I mean, that isn't that discrimination?
Yeah, because
I mean, people get. I mean, I don't even know what to say, because it's so shocking that I've seen that list, and now that you said it that way, I really now puts it in perspective.
No, you understand. That's what we do right here on the Global Brief. We break it down.
Puts it into perspective, and to me, that's not proper. If it's going to be one, it needs to be all.
Here's what the U.S. government is saying. It says its stated position is that temporary visitors should not treat their stay as a first step towards a green card, and that they're saying the policy returns the system to the original intent of law, which the original intent is stay in your country. And then let your spouse file for you.
And wait.
If you come on
years.
a tourist visa, you come to be a tourist. You
So
come
you
to
gotta go
visit
back.
and you go back.
Right.
Basically, that's what they're saying. Even though the adjustment says that you may, that's what it says, Congress may allow you to adjust. It doesn't
Coming
say.
on a tourist visa is a legal entry. It's legal.
It's legal.
Right.
It's a
right.
legal entry.
Exactly.
But what the law states is that you may, and even though you enter, you may adjust. But they didn't want it open up just to every single person coming on that
Exactly.
visa and overstaying.
So they shut down 75 countries.
75 countries, which that was shut down for different reasons, supposedly because of the
Economic impact on our
economic
country?
impact. They're saying people are, from those countries are likely to become public charge.
Well, let me ask you this. If they're here from one of those 75 countries
Uh-huh.
and they meet somebody, I mean, they don't have a means to work, so how do they have a means to have access to public assistance? How does that, I mean, how does that work?
Exactly, and that's the whole point. I don't think a lot of immigrants, I don't think the record will show that most people that are on public assistance are immigrants. I think they're Americans.
I think so too.
Who are on those public assistance.
I've seen many people that just keep popping out kids one after another to get further assistance and further assistance and further assistance.
Of course. And the thing is that, we already have something in place called an affidavit of support.
Mm-hmm.
That
Financial
if you're
support?
Yes. So if
Uh-huh.
you're filing for someone, you need to fill out this I-864. It's a petition, or sometime if your income is not sufficient, you'll use a joint sponsor, right?
Okay.
And so the reason for that form, it will show that, listen, make sure you're saying you have this amount of money in your household. So if
So
that
I
person
can take care of this person.
you're telling them. So
Right.
you're
I
showing.
can take care of this person. I can take care of their expenses.
Correct.
Until they have the
So
ability
it's
to
already in
legally
place.
work.
Correct. It's already in
So
place.
what does public assistance have to do in the middle of this?
And that's what I'm
this
telling you. And then
ruckus?
most people from the immigrants, they tend to be very proud, especially people from the Caribbean. I'm sorry to tell you, they're very proud and they don't like to beg.
Now that I can
They
contest
do.
to that.
And they're hard workers. We're going to come up to a break in a
Absolutely.
minute, but you know what? We're right here on the global brief. See, I'm going to go. The
I got a
global
little
brief
confused
from
there.
1 p.m. until 2 p.m. on Mondays and Tuesdays, right here in the Voice of the Caribbean. So don't touch that dial because we're not going anywhere. It's Opal Lee and
Anthony's son.
And so we'll be right back after this. Remember, you can call in 850-446-0562. That's 850-446-0562. We're speaking about the hot topic that's on almost every media right now about the changes or the policy changes to people who are in the United States and trying to adjust
What's
their
their
status to that of a green card holder.
Jano Star. Want your Charles? Yo, it come in like me fall and drop, brother. No street light, no out here, no kind of light.
I saw them club at dark in a Star. You hurt yourself?
So what me I gonna do?
God, floor jam legal. I could sue them and get some money. Where you broke? Your tour? Where you broke? Your knee?
Right, I know it come in like every part for me, bro.
Yo, me I carry to the hospital first. Then me gonna make sure you call floor jam legal. See, we're gonna sue them because the place dark like midnight.
Yeah, man, call me with a want something now for this in a car, no, sir.
Something?
Right, I know.
It's like a 6 figures, my youth.
Call FlowJam Legal today. Personal injury, slip and fall, wrongful death, and workplace injury. Call FlowJam Legal 954-358-2020. That's 954-358-2020. Or visit them online at flowjamlegal.com. FLOJAM legal.com.
South Florida, get ready. The Voice of the Caribbean 101.5 FM HD2 and 96.9 FM is opening up brand new advertising opportunities serving Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Palm Beach. We're offering flexible, affordable ad packages designed for local businesses ready to make big moves. Reach the Caribbean American community with music, news, and culture they trust. Call us at 954-999-0070 or 954-999-0134. And let's put your brand on the airwaves with the Voice of the Caribbean.
Get ready for the Broward welcomes the World Pre-World Cup kickoff Sunday, Sunday, June 7th at Broward Regional Park Cricket Stadium starting at 2 p.m. Bring the family out for the Youth Activity Clinic, live entertainment, great food, and non-stop vibes. Then the football action kicks into high gear. The Jamaica Masters takes on Haiti Masters. The CASA All-Stars battle the Haiti All-Stars. The featured international showdown. Jamaica Under 20 versus Miami United. Special guest live performances by Spraka Benz, Wayne Wonder, DJs Mikey Mike, and Super Twitch mixing it up. Music powered by Hot Stepper Sound, keeping the stadium energy blazing all night long. Live entertainment to close out an unforgettable day. Best of all, admission is absolutely free. That's Sunday, June 7th at Broward Regional Park, 3700 Northwest 11th Place in Lauderhill.
The voice of the Caribbean. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube.
Welcome back to the Global Brief. This is Opal Lee.
Anthony Sun.
Of course, we're here to cut right through the chase, and we do this each and every Monday and Tuesday from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. right here on the Voice of the Caribbean. Of course, that's WLYF 101.5 FM HD2 and simulcasting on 96.9 FM. Right there in Broward, Miami, Palm Beach. Throughout the program, you can go ahead and contact us. We only have the second segment left, only half an hour left. 850-446-0562. That's the phone number if you would like to call in and give your input on it. 850-446-0562. Today's hot topic, we're talking about the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announcement, or the memo that was just passed on Friday, or they announced it on Friday, which is a major shift in immigration policy, dictating that non-citizens in the U.S. who have applied for a green card or lawful permanent resident status must leave the country indefinitely, even if they are in the United States or in the country legally, and regardless of whether they have spouses or children with citizenship. Green card petitioners will then be required to wait for their application to process outside the country through what's called consular processing via the U.S. Department of State. USCIS said it will grant adjustment of status only in extraordinary circumstances.
Counselor, that was one of my questions. What constitutes that circumstance?
And we're going to get into it. So they're saying that they will only grant it in extraordinary circumstances on a case-by-case basis. The Trump administration's position remains that when non-citizens travel into the country via student visas, tourist visas, or temporary work status, they're supposed to leave once that term expires, and that temporary permission to be in the U.S. should not serve as a first step towards getting a green card.
So what are those circumstances?
So here's the thing, and that's what I have for you right here, Tony. And remember, guys, if any of this is new to you, or if you're confused, or if you're just hearing about this, or if you have questions, feel free to interrupt us. We only have maybe about 20 minutes to go in this program. 850-446-0562. So what has been happening, or people might ask, if you've already filed a green card application, how does this affect you? And what can you do to kind of have an iron-proof application? Because as you just asked that question, you just asked that question, what considers extraordinary circumstances?
Yeah, exactly.
So what we know, and I have in my position what's called a request for further evidence, which, by the way, guys, prepare if you already filed for your green card, or you're about to file for your green card, and they may ask you these questions, and to try to see whether or not you qualify, or if they should go ahead and use their discretionary relief and go ahead and give you the green card. So here's one of the things that they're going to ask you. I have an RFE in my hand. They want to see positive factors, right? What
does that exactly mean?
Positive factors, like remember, because you're going to use because it's a discretionary measure on whether or not to give you that green card or not. You have to kind of influence them, tell them why you should be. Remember, because you're here with USCIS put in your case before USCIS. You have to plead to them.
Persecution? Is that
Try- you have-
something?
you have to-
or,
No,
about
no
returning
persecu-
to your own
well, it could be.
country?
It could
I
be
mean,
that.
Fear, danger?
Yes. So that's one of the things. So one of the things they want to see is family ties within the United States. So if it is that you have been here now, for example, for years, you now have a minor child in
Right.
the United States. You want to go ahead and send in that child's birth certificate and say, listen, guys, if I leave this U.S. right now and do
You're
consular
destroying a
processing,
family.
I'm going to be leaving my itsy tiny baby, and then of course most people going to say take your child with you, right? But then you're breaking up your family, because then what if that person, is married, the U.S. citizen parent will now have to go to the country with
the
you,
other country.
or stay here by him or herself,
Right.
and then where's the baby going to stay, with
Exactly.
the mom or with the dad, right?
Exactly.
So, but that's one factor.
This creates a lot of havoc here.
Right, or if you have your elderly parent here that you have to be taken care of. So again, family ties,
So is it better to have more family ties
more
here?
family ties
That's
here.
that's a good thing.
Correct. That's
Okay.
a good thing. So these are positive factors. Another thing that they will look at is the residents of long duration in this country, right? Especially when residents began at a young age. So here it is, you entered here in the United States from years ago. You're now in your 30s.
So
but
you
you've
entered
been here-
legally and you've been here, say, 10, 15 years.
Correct. So you
Okay.
entered, especially you entered from you were, before you were an adult, which you had no choice. Your mom
came
and
with
dad
your
said, you're
folks.
coming here. What are you going to
Yeah.
do?
You came with your folks. What are you
had
going to
no
do?
choice.
Stay at home? You're 5 years old.
And so you're now married to a U.S. citizen, trying to adjust your status. You want to go ahead and put this in as a factor as well. And I say, listen, guys, I've been here from last 15 years. This is my home right now, right? This is my home now,
Right.
right? I've established a strong
But-
community
But
work.
let me hold it right there. Wouldn't that raise suspicion that you've been here for so long and you've not been working or something? I mean,
And so that's one of
you
the
know,
things on the list. It talks about your work as well. So most of these people, but that's what I'm telling you. If
You
you have
better
been
be
here,
with somebody who can really show financial support.
not only that, but if you have been here for 10 or 15 years, chances are you have been working. Maybe
I
you
would-
weren't
I would
working
say,
legally,
yeah.
but don't make sense since you lie on that application and said you have
Oh
not
no,
been
you're
working.
you got a big problem. at that
Exactly,
point.
because how can you be here for 10, 15
And
years
not
and
work,
then file the
not-
I-45 and put unemployed
Unless
for the
you
last
got
10
big
years?
pockets.
That's going to be a negative factor
Mm-hmm.
for this right now, and likely your green
So
card
speed is actually beneficial to get right on with it, right? When you're changing status, not wait
That's
here.
that's not true.
No?
So no, speed is not for it. So right now, the longer you have been in the US, what they're saying, the more you're likely to get this adjustment of
Really?
status, because it shows that you have now developed a family here. You've now developed a community.
But you could
Maybe
have
if you-
been potentially breaking other rules and regulations.
And that's why we're going to go down the list, and it will show that you
Okay.
don't have any criminal record somewhere else.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
And of course, if you guys want to call in, as I said before, and give your input, feel free to do so. Let's see if we could take a call here. Go ahead, Tony.
Go ahead. Okay.
Thanks for rocking with us on the Voice of the Caribbean Caller. You're live. How are
Good
you?
afternoon.
In terms of the whole immigration.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, we
yes,
can
I
hear
can hear you now.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out. So you came to the U.S. legally. Your parents, filed for you. You've been here all long. You have your green card for how long? You're a legal immigrant, and you decide to apply for your citizenship.
Right.
Does that go for this situation here?
No.
No.
You're already a green card holder. This does not affect you. This only goes right now. This new policy is only for people who are seeking to become a green card holder. So let's say you are filing for someone. That's the person who's going to be affected. But if you're already a green card holder now and filing your citizenship, you're good to go. You should just go ahead and file your citizenship right away. This does not affect you.
Okay, just wondering.
All right. No problem. Well, thanks for
Yeah, all
calling.
right.
for
Thank you,
calling.
guys. All right.
You're
Yeah.
very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Bye. Yeah.
So now, if they determine at your hearing that there's not any extraordinary circumstances, now you have to return to your country, right?
Right. So it's not a
Now-
hearing. It's you go to an appointment.
An
for an
appointment.
interview.
Okay, an appointment. And what can that trigger? Does that trigger any bans now from coming
that's
back,
where-
or
exactly.
what's the next
So
bad
here's
news?
the thing. Here's the bad thing about it. It's easy for them to say, listen, stay in your home country.
Right.
And do this. And by the
Right.
way, that ties into the residents for a long time, because if you have been here, if you've overstayed your visa by more than 6 months, but less than 1 year, you have a 3-year bar. So you kind of simply go back to Jamaica
So when
or
they send
Trinidad
you back, you're automatically barred for
or
3
Dominic,
years.
you are barred for 3 years. And let's just take this call and we'll come back to this.
Okay.
Thanks for rocking with us on the Voice of the Caribbean. Caller, you're live. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Hi, good evening.
Good
morning, good afternoon.
Good
How
afternoon.
are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
Okay.
I'm calling on behalf of a friend.
Right.
He applied to adjust his status, and he do 2 medical already. He do 2 interview. He do almost everything. He just waiting on them to approve his green card. Does that affect them?
All right. So he's waiting for his green card right now. So his I-485 is pending.
Yeah, and if I-130 is approved already.
And his I-130 is approved. Yeah. And so, yes, it affects him. Because what they're doing right now, oh yes, it's definitely affecting him. The fact that he has done 2 medical, it looked like this was doing, because if he did 2 medical, it means the other one had expired or something, and did they send for the other one, an updated one?
Yeah.
Yes. So his file was pending for quite some time. So what the U.S. Embassy is
from 2022.
from 2022. I don't know. That's something. That's weird
that's
though,
a
because we're
long
now in
time.
2026.
It's a long
Why is
time.
it taking so long? How many interviews have this person went to?
2.
2 interviews?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You're only supposed to go to one interview,
He
Tony.
do everything in 2. He do 2 biometric, he do 2 interview, he do 2 medical.
All right. So something was happening where that is concerned, but it is going to affect, because what the Trump administration is saying right now, they are going to be looking at every single application, including your friend zone, and see why he overstayed. And remember, I'm going through the list, and I'm going to try and see if we could go through the list before we end. In about 10 minutes or so, I'm going to try and see if we could go through as much as possible. But we're going through the list. So your friend right now, tell him, if they, just in case they ask, tell him to start. Maybe you could share the link with him and tell him to listen. But tell him he could try and put these things together. So, for example, since he has been filing from 2022, I don't know when he came in, see as much evidence. If he is in any community involvement or helping charity, if he goes to church, see if he could get affidavits or anything to build up his case, so that just in case they're ready
He's
to
working. He got his work permit. He's working.
I know, but the thing is that how long has he been working? So that's what I'm saying. Those are positive. Maybe he could get a letter from his employer to say, John Doe is a very good worker. He's very,
And how long he's been
he
here,
has been
too,
here for
right?
how long,
Yeah.
and he's very helpful in the in our job. He's a very friendly person and very productive. So those are positive factors. So just in case, but yes, it's not because you have already filed. It doesn't mean you're safe.
Okay.
All right. So I mean,
I'm gonna call him now.
tell him to listen to log in right now. 101.5
Yeah.
FM HD2. Are you listening on the app or on the radio?
Station.
The station. Okay. Well, the station at 96.9 or 101.5. Tell him now. We still have
96.9,
more time to he can ask some questions too. All right. Thanks for calling.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
This is really tough situation.
Exactly.
But if you have your green card, you're
if you have your green card, yes. And here's somebody on the chat. Good day, Berthan. It says, what if you were paying taxes on the money you earned? So yes, that's a positive factor.
Obviously.
I was trying to go through the list,
Obviously.
but Tony was asking a question, so I had stopped. No, but so
they'll take your money.
Paying
anytime.
taxes is positive. So what they will say, listen, you have been here working for how long in the United States? You have been paying taxes. Some people will say, how am I going to pay taxes when I don't have a social security number? But
you get
can
another
still
number,
you can get what's called an ITIN, which is the individual taxpayer identification number, which you don't need to be here lawfully to get.
But do you need a work permit for that?
To work legally, you need a work permit, but you don't need.
What is the number? Then how can they get a number if they don't have a work permit? How does that? work.
Tony. Oh
I'm
my goodness!
sorry.
I know.
I don't know.
I know. I'm just messing with you here. And it's
I
good
mean,
questions you're asking. The very, very good
I
questions.
don't understand. They're going to issue this to you. Wouldn't that just set off a big red flag?
Exactly. So here's the thing. A lot of people back in the days, they were scared, and there still are, scared to apply for this ITIN number,
I
the
would
individual
be.
taxpayer, because you're saying, oh my goodness, I don't have a work permit.
That's right.
I'm not here lawfully.
But I want to pay taxes.
But I want to do the right thing and pay taxes. And what if I go ahead and do this
Doesn't
and
make
then I'm
sense.
triggered and people go start,
Digging
looking for
into
me?
me,
And because
yeah.
remember recently the IRS were being commanded by USCIS to go ahead and divulge the taxpayer information number because they wanted to go after these people,
course.
right? And so of course they were putting up a fight and the court was saying, no, you can't really do that. So it was a back and forth thing. And so I understand why immigrants were so worried about it. And here it is now. They're saying it's a positive factor if you indeed were paying taxes, because it shows, yes, I'm here unlawfully, but I wasn't just pocketing the money. We're helping back the
But
US
I was working
economy.
illegally, but
I was
paying
working
taxes.
illegally, but I was paying taxes. So that is a positive factor. So for that
Nice.
person who asked on the chat,
How do they get employment if they don't have?
What
if
do
they
you
don't
mean?
Have, they don't have
Tony?
work permit. They don't have proper documents. How do you get a job?
I wanted somebody want to call in and answer that question for Tony.
I don't
Tony
understand.
is really
really,
oblivious to immigration
No,
here.
I'm just saying. How do you work if you don't have a work permit, but you got an ITN, so you're paying taxes? So somebody had to employ you.
850-446-0562. 850-446-0562. If nobody calls in and asks that, let me answer your question. Tony,
What?
there's a lot of people here that in the U.S. that work under what we call callers under the table. So they don't have, it's not lawful. And by no
Right.
means am I saying an employer is supposed to do this, but we all know it happens. There are a lot of people who in the U.S. who are undocumented. They want to work, and they want to do it lawfully. But here's the thing. They want to do this lawfully, but at first, with the Trump administration, if you remember when he was running, he said that he was going to get the bad guys out, the criminals, right? And so people did not know or did not think,
Well,
or most people would think, hold on, that lawful immigration would be under attack. Right now, I'm
Well,
telling
that
you,
was a ploy.
I am standing
That was a ploy.
2 foot down.
I'm sorry.
Lawful immigration is under attack.
That was a
People are
ploy.
doing it the right way and doing the adjustment. And yes, I know it's discretionary, but I think they're abusing that discretion because people are trying to do it the right way. They came in, yes, they
Right.
overstayed, but now they're married or they have children or a child who
Now
wants to
they've
file for them.
established themselves.
They have
here.
established and they
came
want to
in
do the
legally
right
and
thing.
They've established themselves.
And they
want to
do the right
thing. I
thing.
get all that.
And they're being blocked. They're being stonewalled. So lawful immigration, as I know it right now, is under attack. You're outside the U.S. right now. They want you to stay there and let your spouse file for you or your parent file for you. That
How
is
long-
being
how long
blocked
does
too.
that take?
Hold on a minute. That is being blocked too.
How long does that take?
So if you're
outside?
married if you're outside the U.S., normally it takes about 2 years or so. But remember what I said earlier is that there's an immigrant pause right now, a pause on immigrant visa. So even if you're
So
in
you
one of
can't
these
do it.
75 countries, you can start the filing, but you ain't coming anyway. So they want you to stay out and file, but then you can't come here. And if you're here filing, you're not getting the green card. So all around it is
Or you're
under
getting
attack.
sent back.
Or you're getting sent back. All right. So yes,
great.
for those who are logging in, you can on YouTube, and I think we're on
TikTok.
I don't know. I think you can you can ask your questions there on our YouTube or even on our Instagram, I believe. But just as this person did. All right. So here's the other thing. They will look at the hardship. What we're going through, guys, real quick before we close off, I'm trying to go through positive factors that you can use right now if you're filing for your adjustment, or even if you have already filed for your adjustment status in the United States and you're prepared yourself that they may send you what's called a request for further evidence, where they will ask you these things now based on that new memo that was just released. Okay, so prepare yourself and look at this and go. I'm going on the line real quick and see if you could get yourself some of these things or get evidence to support this.
Correct.
One more thing: hardship to the applicant or applicant's family if relief is not granted. So what can you show if they don't give you that green card? how is it going to be a hardship? Is it that now you're going to be separated from your spouse, and maybe maybe the spouse is here and has medical condition,
or maybe you're actually contributing to the household.
Financial. Because if you leave now maybe
you have the one that's left behind.
The person has a mortgage.
They're
going to lose the home. There's a mortgage to be paid. Now the mortgage is going to go into foreclosure.
That's right.
Right? Mm-hmm. The child, you have to be paying the children's school, college, all of that school, tuition. What else? What other hardship? Medical, the person is ill, your spouse is ill, and you are the caretaker and have to be taking care of them, or you have an ill child. So what is the hardship? And you have to also show why that spouse or child, or your a family member is not able to travel with you back to your home country too. Maybe it is
they work or something here.
Exactly, but I'm just trying to show the hardship.
Can just get up and leave.
So you have to show that exactly. And maybe if they have a medical condition, certain other countries they may not take the medical insurance, or the medical might not be too good in some of those countries, right?
And the spouse could be a caretaker as well.
Correct, and that's what. So you have to show why it is that you need to stay here, remain in the United States to take care of that person, and why the person can't travel to your home country with you so you could take care of them there. Next thing, they'll look at your education. The more educated you are, it's a plus. It's a positive. It's an asset to the United States.
But that makes sense.
Yes.
That does make sense.
If you don't have even a GED or anything, that's a negative factor. They're like, bye-bye, you're out.
Yeah.
And they're likely to deny your green card application right now. But if you show that, listen, I have my bachelor's, PhD, I did my associate, I have all of this, those are positive factors. So you want to include as much information, include parts of your certificate. Please do not go get no fraud certificate and said, you know what, I was the I was a general manager of Spirit Airlines, because you think they can't check it now because Spirit Airlines.
Well, it doesn't matter. Spirit's gone
exactly.
now. So I don't think.
I saw all those jokes, when Spirit went out of commission, and people were saying, "Oh, now I can say I was a CEO or I was a general manager for the branch in Fort Lauderdale or wherever." They could put all of that stuff, fluff it now. But no, guys, put all funds and joke aside. So you want to make sure you're doing it the right and legal way. So you don't put in any fraud documents.
No,
but yes, if you have those education, those diplomas, those skill jobs, or any certificates, you want to submit
so the
that
more
now.
Skills and knowledge that you have and the higher education you have is, I see that as a complete benefit.
Exactly. That's a positive.
To any country.
Correct. Next thing, fluency or proficiency in English. The more
now you got me on a big one here. Because let me tell you, if I went and lived in another country, the first thing I'm going to do is learn their language.
Tony seems biased. So what you're trying to say now, for people who are Spanish people, they should learn because
listen,
we're not in Spain
You go down to Miami, and trust me, I don't look Spanish.
Right.
And that's all they do is talk to me in Spanish. And they wanted then to make it the official language.
Oh my
come on,
so
guys.
So you
Let's
agree with this one.
Let's get real.
So if you're going to live in the US and want to live here, learn the language. Speak the language.
Number one.
Oh boy.
No, I'm really it drives me nuts.
And this goes some more.
Absolutely nuts.
Of course, who's going to be affected here is people from the non-English speaking countries.
Well,
so
learn English.
Learn English, okay.
Because if I went to a country that didn't speak English, the first thing I would do is learn that language before I went there.
I want to learn Spanish so bad.
You practice all the time.
I do
you
practice
a lot of Spanish. You're doing very, very well at it.
I know. But I practice my Spanish. I've been trying to practice. And so I know I've spoken with other attorneys, and they said one of the best ways to learn that language is to maybe visit or go immerse yourself into another country. So they were thinking maybe I should go to like Mexico or Spain. Don't laugh.
Yeah, go to Mexico.
Yes, or Spain for like 6 months.
Tijuana.
Or 6 months. And then immerse myself there, and I'll be forced, because people are going to be talking to me in Spanish, I'm going to have to be forced to go ahead and respond to them or learn it. So guys, going back to our hot topic of the day, one of the positive factors, even if you're from one of those countries, if you're from, Spain, Venezuela, if you can show that you have now mastered English language, it will be a plus on your adjustment application. Remember, 850-446-0562. Just in case you have any questions, we have about 3 minutes or so to go that you can call in. What else? Service in the U.S. Armed Forces. If you have, yes.
How can you serve? How does that happen?
No, listen to you. They want to know. Listen,
how do you serve in the armed forces?
Listen, remember, there are people, and I know, because right now you need to have a permanent residence to serve in the armed forces.
Yeah.
But remember, back sometimes the people are drafting even non-U.S. citizens and non-green card holders were servicing, yes, or
were
being,
they?
Because they were in dire, and don't get me started. This is a whole different topic now. We're going to talk about all the wars that we have been having right now with U.S. with all these other countries,
I think it's
and and how we're going to need everybody on board, whether you're a citizen, green card holder, or none of those statuses, right? We're going to need everything. Or it could be your family member who is also service in the U.S. Armed Forces, so your household. So that's a positive factor. Again, guys, I'm doing this for you to go through real quickly. These are things that you could add to your application right now, your adjustment applications, to make sure to kind of get it, I'm not going to use the word foolproof, but more likely than not to be approved, and so that the USCIS can use their discretion in your favor.
I don't like that discretion. I think it should be law. Not discretion.
Exactly. So that's it. If they want to change it, they have to change. Congress would have to change it now, because right now, how it is on the books right now, it's not a new law, guys. How it is right now that it says that the USCIS may grant you.
So each officer has such discretion then.
Correct.
That's
all right,
incredible.
Real quick, another thing, they will look at the history of employment. We kind of touched on that earlier. So the longer you have been working in the U.S., you can use that to your advantage. Now, see that? You use it.
Again.
And I think I'm maybe, I'll also give you my office number, because I said before, I'm also an immigration attorney. So just in case anybody, I'm flying through this right now, you can call me 954-358-2020, or just go to our website, www.flowjamlegal.com. Just had to put that in. Next thing, evidence of value and service to the community. So we talked about that too.
Yeah.
So if you have been added value, you have been a volunteer, you have been a volunteer to community involvement
in your church, I guess.
Religious organizations. You serve on the choir. Yeah. You are the treasurer or secretary in your church, and you have been helping doing these things, or you have been helping with little kids. Mm-hmm. That is a positive as well. We talked about paying taxes earlier. Proof of rehabilitation if a criminal record. So if you have a small criminal record or petty theft, proof that you have been rehabilitated, and any other evidence demonstrating that a favorable exercise of discretion is warranted in your case. That was a mouthful.
There's a couple of things that I just,
Any final words? Because we have to log off now. We only have a minute to go.
Learn English.
Learn English. All right.
No, I'm sorry.
So that was
I just find it comical when you go down to certain areas in this community.
All right, guys. So we have to sign off now. So it's a global brief with yours truly, Opal Lee and
Anthony Sun.
And you know what? We did a whole unpack just now, because that's what's been talking about globally right now.
It's
the
very
effects
important.
Of
it's
the
very important issue.
People who are in the U.S. trying to adjust, and it's been basically cut off almost right now, right? It's a discretionary. The USCIS are using their discretion. So until next week, please be safe. We'll continue to, love each other, and we'll be seeing you again next Monday or Tuesday, right here on the Voice of the Caribbean. 101.5 FM HD2 and 96.9 FM. It's
W245BC, Lauderdale Lakes, 96.9 FM, the all-new Voice of the Caribbean.
This is the all-new Voice of the Caribbean. Better sounding radio. WLYF HD2 Miami, 101.5 HD2.
South Florida, get ready. The Voice of the Caribbean, 101.5 FM HD2 and 96.9 FM is opening up brand new advertising opportunities serving Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Palm Beach. We're offering flexible, affordable ad packages designed for local businesses ready to make big moves. Reach the Caribbean American community with music, news, and culture they trust. Call us at 954-999-0070 or 954-999-0134. And let's put your brand on the airwaves with the Voice of the Caribbean.
Jano Star. Want to Charles? Yo, it come in like me fall and drop, brother. No street light, no out here, no kind of light.
I saw them club at dark in a Star. You hurt yourself?
So what me I gonna do?
called Flow Jam Legal. I could sue them and get some money. Where you broke? Your tour? Where you broke? Your knee?
Right, I know it come in like every part for me, bro.
Yo, me I carry to the hospital first. Then me gonna make sure you call Flow Jam Legal. See, we're gonna sue them because the place dark like midnight.
Yeah, man, call me with a want something now for this in the car, no, sir.
Something?
Right, know.
It's like a 6 figures, my youth.
Call Flow Jam Legal today. Personal injury, slip and fall, wrongful death, and workplace injury. Call Flow Jam Legal 954-358-2020. That's 954-358-2020. Or visit them online at flowjamlegal.com. FLOJAM legal.com.
Attention reggae lovers, the voice of the Caribbean and welcome to Jamrock Reggae Cruise are giving you the